Okay, this is how I attach top bars in my Warre hive. In the book and other places, it's recommended to use small nails, and I find them cumbersome. I much prefer this method for myself. These bars have a bead of beeswax. I think it would be probably better to use popsicle sticks and then rub wax on them, because the bees get a little wild with their comb when doing it this way. But I haven't had a chance to rip and glue in popsicles yet. It's kind of cumbersome because I don't have a table saw. But as soon as I get one, I will probably switch to that method. But keep this method of securing the top bars in place. I made this little jig, this little layout jig. It's easy to do, and I'll make a video if anybody asks. These videos don't get enough views, so for probably the chances of somebody commenting on it are very slim. But as you can see, this helps. Instead of measuring and cutting dados or making castellated spacers, and just put it in there and rub it back and forth. Center things up a little bit. Go down here and wiggle it back and forth until the bars are spaced out pretty well. Sometimes you have to move one by hand, a couple by hand. And come back down here and redo that. And then I take a staple gun. Oops, sorry. I take a staple gun and I staple these. Now, when it comes to hive maintenance and you need to pull a bar out, all you do is take a little pair of pliers and just pry it right out. Very simple. For me, it's much easier than wrestling with nails driven through and heads cut off and things like that. And for me, it's much faster than fiddling with nails, brads, cut off heads of small nails, that kind of thing. Here, do the wiggle trick. It's kind of centered up. Oh, and then do these. Now these look unevenly spaced because I ripped these with a hand saw, with a hand skill saw, and so this width is not precise, one bar to the next, but the centering is very precise when you do it this way. And chase it up with a hammer. That one missed. Take a little hammer and chase. There we go. Done. We'll do one more. You've probably noticed that my my boxes, I made my boxes out of 2x material, 2x10s to be exact. One, it's less expensive. Two, it's almost the perfect size, and most importantly, I live in the high desert at a high altitude where temperature swings are pretty drastic. 50, 60 degrees is not uncommon. 40 is probably the average during the summer. But in the winter it can get very cold and very warm. And so I wanted a bit more insulation. And Warre calls for a minimum of 20 millimeters, which is a hair over 3/4 of an inch, or your standard 1x material. So, don't know what to say. I'm fairly new at this Warre beekeeping and beekeeping in general. So, we'll see how it goes. But the thickness has been well received by people who've been keeping bees for a long time in my beekeeping group. And it's very inexpensive. It costs, I get more than one box out of, so each box costs less than $10 to make. These, I ripped these out of 5 foot long by 6 inch wide cedar fence boards. And so with the little added thickness of this, the little added depth of the 2x10 works out just fine. It gives about the same interior dimensions as the standard Warre hive, and a little bit of extra insulation, or thermal flywheel, I guess I should probably, thermal mass, thermal flywheel. I did it because I thought it might be easier for the bees to regulate the temperature in the hive with a little thicker material. We have a thunderstorm. It's summertime. We're having a thunderstorm now, which is a little exciting for the local fire department because it's been so dry. We're just off of a red flag warning, which is an extreme fire danger because of the humidity and the temperature. I'll be back. I ran out of staples. Yeah, hello. I'm back. I'm using 1/2 inch staples for this. It seems to work out better. 1/2 inch heavy duty staples. Anyway, as I was saying, we're having thunder and lightning and possibly a little rain, and so that's I'm a local fireman, volunteer fireman, so I won't be called out for this if there's a fire, but it's of interest to us nonetheless. Anyway, back to this. You can see how easy this is once you get this going. Okay. Anyway, I found that my bees just seem to really be calm and at home in this style of hive. Not that I have a great deal of experience, but just kind of looking at them, they look like a calm, fairly content organism just in their daily routines around this hive. I'd recommend looking into them if you've been thinking about it, or reading Warre's book, Beekeeping for All. I found it to be an excellent read and very informative about beekeeping and different styles of hives. Okay, there we go. Now we'll take a look at the bottom, and if you look at I lose my mouth when I go on. You can see how evenly spaced these are into the next, and so we're in good shape. So there we go. That's my method, and if you would like me to do a little video on how to make that spacer for next to nothing, somebody comment and say, yeah, do it. Bye-bye.